Okay, we are recording. Chapters 10 and 11. Chapter 10 is the key to duplication, which Mel and I were just talking about. And the million-dollar question is, how do we duplicate? I really liked how she said, the more complicated you make it, the slower you will grow. Um, Important question. If everyone on your team did exactly what you currently do every day, every week, and every month, how big would your business be? So I noticed that you can't push your team to do what you're doing, but if they see that you're doing it all and being successful, then they're going to want to duplicate it and do the same thing. But if you're just down on yourself and, oh, no one's not doing anything, so I'm not going to do anything, then that's going to be your duplication. No one's going to do anything. Here's the short list of what you should be doing to start the duplication process that she has. Constantly adding to your list. So I like I think it's the 30-day success IPA journal that I recently got from Ansley. It has multiple 64 contact lists on the front pages. I need to do that because the more we make our list, we're meeting people every day if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, our list should be growing. And I honestly have my first 100 list from when I started over a year ago. So I like that it's pushing us. We need to be adding to our list and showing that duplication. Reaching out and reaching back to people on your list. So even if we're reaching out, we still need to be doing our follow-up. Inviting people interested in the business to three-way calls or events. And if it's the right fit, adding them to your team. Adding those not interested in the business as customers and asking for referrals and getting paid. Um, she said if you do all these things all the time, you'll teach your team how to duplicate. And the most important is having fun. People ultimately join your team because you and your energy. Recently, I had somebody reach out to me because they're like, I want to know what you're doing, taking. It seems like you're having so much fun, like you're just lighting up. And that's what we want people to be seeing. Like Mel and I were talking, yeah, I go into the grocery store, crazy hair, jammies half the time because I'm just rushing around. But all in all, I'm happy and I'm loving what I'm doing. And that's what should be presented.
One of the things that I said before the recorded, I think in relation to what you were talking about, is that you have to think about what are we selling or what are we promoting, what are we sharing, and it's health. And so health, it looks different on everybody. We're not sharing makeup, so that's not always, we don't always have to be fully made up, but it lets others know that we have the energy to be out and about and we are smiling and, we do look healthy and whatever that looks like, even if it is sweats and, hair in a bun or whatever, putting on, I never miss my Joyome. So putting on Joyome, every morning, and sometimes I add a little mascara, just because I think I love the difference in my skin with Joyome. And so I love the challenge of being out without makeup at almost 58 years old in a week, and really, I think about, you have to think seriously about that. How many people, I look at my Facebook, all my high school and college friends, and not bragging because it sounds like I am, but I'm telling you, I look and feel better than a vast majority of them. Some of them are still living healthy lives, but that helps me to see that, because when I compare myself to you, Alexis, I don't see that because you're a young mommy. You should be vibrant and all that. And I was too when I was in my 20s, but being almost 60 years old, there's a lot of people that kind of start to give up, right? So what we're sharing is health. And so whatever that looks like to you. So I love that you said that.
And I love that you're saying that because back when I was in high school and a little bit after high school, I covered up in so much makeup and behind trying to be pretty. And now that I feel better, and now that, like, none of that matters because I feel better. So, like you, like, throw my Joy on and my mascara, sometimes not even my mascara, and I go about my day, and it's not a constant, oh, I feel like crap, I look like crap, what is everyone going to think? Because it's not how I feel anymore. So that's a good way to look at it. A little bit further down, I like how she said your people will do an average of half of what you do. And those are the runners. So you can't be expecting everyone to do everything that you're doing. You just have to help them along and duplicate. Show them what you're doing. That way they can grab onto it. She said, let's assume that you're doing the bare minimum to earn a check. The half rule says your peeps will do half of that, which is pretty pathetic. You must commit today to be the top producer on your team, besting yourself every month to show your team how it's done. She said, I had to set the pace and then see who kept up. Those were the ones who got my time. So I know on my team personally, I have a lot of people that here and they say they want to do it, and then I spend all my whole week, my whole however long, trying to help them along, but then nothing. So that's what we kind of need to set ourselves back and not go into management mode and just continue working on ourselves so that if they catch on, they catch on, and if not, we're not setting ourselves back on that. If someone isn't reaching out and talking, you want to try and find out why and really have their best interests at heart. Some people aren't talking. I know when I started, it was hard to reach out. I don't talk to anyone as it is. How am I going to talk to people I don't know? Like, that was super hard. So maybe if you can, they know that I started not being able to talk to people, and on these meetings, there was no way that I would even see myself leading a book study or a team meeting. But I've gotten this far just because of the encouragement that the team has and the self-confidence I built because of really this team. So we just need to meet them where they're at and not judge them on that. And then just reassuring them that they can be totally honest with you, because that's how we can help. If they're just, yeah, I can do it, but they're not doing it, there's a reason why, and if we don't get to that why, then there's no help there.
I think one of the things that this chapter taught me too, or brought to my mind, is that what we tend to do when we're not doing our own IPA is we tend to connect with our business builders or those that really are, trying, but we have to remember these other people that joined for the business but then aren't working the business, and just reaching out to them, because I think knowing that someone cares and that someone will help can really help them. If you have a conversation and they're like, this is not the right timing for me, I love the products, but it's good to take those notes and just say, you know what, like she said, I just want to get real, and you really can do this. I see this in you. Promote what you see in them that told you in the beginning they could do this. Relate, and then make those notes and just say, one of the things that someone has told me before is, I'm not giving up on you. So you're going to hear from me, and so that just kind of changed my mindset a little, to say, okay, so someone is watching, but someone cares. And
Definitely. I was going to just say that's a good point. That way, because we're not in this just to be making the money. Like, I know me, I have financial needs that are strong, and that's part of what pushes me, but being able to help people and be there for people is such a passion that that's what's going to keep me going. It's not, I mean, once we have all that money, are we just going to stop? We're not going to stop. We're going to keep helping people. So, like Mel said, not leaving them in the dark because they don't want to run this with us. That's not the point of what we're doing. We can teach, we can coach, we can inspire, we can collaborate, we can laugh, we can have fun together, we can dream, we can plan, we can't motivate. That has to come within each of us. So like we've been talking about, the team that's not running behind us, we can't motivate them. We can only just keep laughing and showing them how great we're having, how great of a time we're having with this and what we're doing and what we're getting out of it.
Does anyone disagree with that statement? Because I
No.
highlighted that we can't motivate them.
Exactly. This is what's so unique, I think, about network marketing, because it's so very entrepreneurial. At the same time, we've got this amazing team and we support each other, but it's you. It comes down to your business is you. And it's such a fine line, all of that motivating people and not sounding too salesy and having them think you're just trying to make a sale or you're just trying to make money. Well, sure, okay, it is part of it, but I really do genuinely, I want you healthy. I want you wealthy if that's what you need to. I want this to help you. I love this book. I love this book. She's smart and she has passed on some real knowledge here.
But I think the part about, we can inspire, we can laugh, we can have fun together, we can dream, that's motivating to me. So when she ended that with
Right.
"You can't motivate," that bothered me because I thought, wow, when we watched all the jewels go to Hawaii, that was motivating to me. When there are, I don't know, I've seen, like, I've always wanted to do online events. And when I've been part of some great online events, that's motivating to me. So that's the coaching part and the inspiring part. And, also when, it's like when you were talking about, Monica, making money and not sounding too salesy, as long as we're throwing in our why, because we are doing this to be healthy, or we already are healthy, but the fact that it is a business, it's okay. If we went out and started a coffee shop because we need the business and people understand that. So, and the why behind it, the why is because, I don't know, do you want to work independently, or do you need a second income as you go toward retirement? So that's why you have that coffee shop, whatever it is, that it's okay that we're making, an income from this business, as long as we share the why behind it. And so, Alexis, when you said, I need this, income, that's okay. Just why? So that you could stay home or whatever it is. I was downsized, from corporate. And so, I wanted and needed to stay home as my mom was, entering into, a debilitating illness. And then she passed away and my father moved here. There are all kinds of reasons why I love being able to, when I was downsized, they hired me back as a consultant. So you may or may not know, but I work part-time for that company and I'm still doing it 3 years strong, almost 8 years with this company. And so I can't do that job if I go out and do an 8 to 5.
Right.
And so I want to continue to work for them. I love this company. So I need something else that I can do at home. And God just happened to bring Plexus into my life. So, and my company, other company knows that. So they're interchangeable. They're just perfect together. And there's no need for me to hide behind that.
Yeah, I definitely think that this book is a big slap in the face for that, because I keep saying I'm doing it scared, but why am I doing it scared when I need and want this? There's no reason besides that I'm being scared. So somehow I need to get that out of my head and just do what I need and I want.
And it's fun and it's flexible and it's all the things that people that had to get up and go to work today, even though their kid was not well, they had to scurry around and whatever it is, or what they had to go to work today, but they're going to have to miss something at their kid's school or whatever it was, whatever it is. There are people out there that if they realized they could do this, I think the world would give up the corporate 9 to 5. But it's, what it was for me and probably everyone else is it's a belief in that you can, and it's sitting with a sponsor and saying, what is the income that you need to be able to do this? So let's start this supplementally, or let me show you how, if you're going to leave today or you got a pink slip today, here's what you're going to have to do realistically to match that income.
Exactly, that is.
And let them decide, because if they were called into HR today and they said, I have this position available to you, and this is the income that you could make, and we're willing to promote you, and here's the job description. I've looked at so many JDs over my life, in corporate, because I've had a lot of movement. And I look at that, job description and decide, can I do this? And do I want it? And I usually do want that promotion. But it means to me, immediately in my mind, I'm thinking, how to put the time forth. Do I have the skills? What do I have to do to go out and learn those skills? But I'm willing to do it. So someone who, needs whatever they need, are you willing to do it? Because it's not that we have to do it for them. It's, if you're sitting in HR, you have to let them know, I know I can do this. I can figure this out. I want this. So their belief is behind you, but they're not going to give it to you. So it's no different, corporate or network marketing. You've got to teach yourself, or you've got to be motivated enough to go out and do it.
Exactly. At my last job, the manager left, the executive housekeeper left, and I really wanted the position, but I had to prove to my boss that I was going to put in the time, do the work, and then I got the position. He watched me for actually a couple of months before I even got the position. So it's the same thing with this. Like, we're kind of wanting positions by ranking up, but we have to put in the work, or we're going to stay at silver or ambassador or wherever we're at, because that's where I'm sitting, because I haven't put in the full work. I mean, there's months I bust my butt and do IPA, but then the next month when I don't, that's going to break me at even, like I didn't do anything. I like how she said, if you have fun, keep doing all that and above, wash, rinse, and repeat. So just not giving up on anything and just keep rolling with the punches.
Yeah, every jewel tells you, in their videos or whatever, you'll see where they'll say either they had to do this part, they had to do this behind working full time. So imagine going out and working full time, coming home, you've got dinner and kids and whatever, plus they put in this time. Or they say, I think she said in this book in the beginning, she gave up TV. Her evenings were this, and so everybody that's very successful, will tell you that. It's no different. My husband, he's in management. He goes out every day and manages, but he comes home and he's on his laptop. He's either making a schedule, or he's doing a food order, or whatever it is he's doing. Teachers, teachers out there, they go out there and teach all day long. They come home and they have to work. So, it's just, they know what their job description is. They want to keep their job, so they're willing to do it. So it's no different in network marketing. The difference is we don't have anybody saying, if you don't, you're fired.
Right.
That has to come from within.
And I feel like a lot of 9-to-5 jobs, you're not really going to have much room for promotion and growth. And with this opportunity that we do have that. So that's even more motivating. So we can be motivated.
And super flexible. Yep.
Exactly. I mean, just being, like you were saying, my kids are sick. As soon as you were saying that, I'm like, I should go do a live video. Like, I'm not at work today and I did not have to call in and my kids are sick. I was able to do my book study, or my work study, I'll want to call it, on my live video, because I am at home and I was able to fit a chunk of time into that and still be here. Very motivating. Okay, chapter 11, BS we tell ourselves, because yes, we all have a million different reasons that we can just come up with excuses why this won't work for us, why we won't grow big. I like how she said, and I don't have time for this. What you're really saying is, I haven't made this a priority. On Monday night, because I read this Sunday evening, I read this part of the chapter, and Monday evening I got on Mel's Power Hour because I haven't been on in a couple weeks because I haven't made it a priority. I'm at home, I'm like, well, Julian just got home or he's about to get home, I'm going to make dinner. Pile on the excuses because yes, I can fit in a power hour. I haven't done my IPA all day. Why can't I fit that in? Until this business is a priority, you will have time management problems, and it will be easy to avoid working your business. We find time for everything that's important to us. So we find time to go to the doctor. We find time to play the board game with our kid, which definitely is a priority. We find time to make dinner. We find time to take our bubble bath or whatever it is. And if we want this business, then we need to make it a priority. So just so you know why I keep reading, I just went through the chapters and highlighted what stood out to me so that I can just touch base on that. So there's a reason to my reading.
I wanted to mention something. I'm just sharing something personal, and that is when we talk about prioritizing, if someone reaches out to me and says, tell me more, or someone reaches out to me and says, I'm ready to sign up, or someone, I can't tell you the million things that I will give up at that moment to sign someone up or talk to them more about their health journey, that I absolutely can make it a priority. It's amazing what I can get out of dinner reservations or whatever it is, right after church, skip out and get on the phone, and I will give up. What I don't do is I don't apply that sense of urgency to the daily IPA. And that's a key. Because if we don't do the daily IPA with a sense of urgency, we won't get those messages or phone calls or whatever it is saying, tell me more, or I am ready. So that's one of the things that I wrote down on my sticky note here, is just match IPA to the sense of urgency that I have when someone says, I'm ready, or tell me more. So I just wanted to stick that in there because this chapter kind of poked that in me.
So true. I'm the same way because a lot of times anyone in the house will be tugging on me. I'm like, hold on, this person wants more information. I have to do this. But then, like I said earlier in the meeting, then why do I do so good for 1 month and then the next month? The next month is still a priority. Like, I'm not going to get anywhere if I set my priorities backwards.
Yeah, if we're hoping to build a business by people reaching out to us, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Some people have reached out, but the business is in reaching out to other people and getting them interested in the first place. Talking to them. I mean, those stories before too of other people having signed up with the same company and a different ambassador because, well, they reached out to me. That right there too. You never know. You never know. So you have to take, and it is hard, the little box. So why don't you have time to reach out and talk to people because it's hard? Yeah, it is. It's so hard. But if we want to help people, we have to, the one-on-ones are really the thing that usually do it. They're the most compelling. The one-on-one conversations are the most compelling, and the way that usually gets people convinced that this could be what they've been waiting for.
One of the things that's really helped me in the past couple of months is, I have, you see people posting about a health concern or financial concern. And so I used to think, well, maybe I don't know them well enough, or if I reach out to them about that, they may block me or unfriend me or whatever. But the truth is that if they're willing to share that out there in the world, there's got to be a reason. It's not just a, let me just throw this out there. It's a, let me throw this out there. And in the back of their mind, they're thinking, maybe someone will sympathize or empathize with me.
Right.
Or they may not be thinking, maybe there's help out there, but they do want a connection from that post. We all do, you know? And so I just got over myself, and I just will private message anyone who has a health concern or a financial concern now in a very gentle way, and just say, look, I saw your post, you know, and I just want you to know that I've been there. Or I have someone on my team that's been there. And, you know, and so I, first of all, I'm a prayer warrior. So first of all, I want you to know that I will concentrate on prayer, you know, for that. At the same time, God answered my prayers by giving me much better health through Plexus in an accidental business. You know, I would love to chat with you just a little bit. And sometimes people just say, you know, let's connect. I'd really love for you to pray for me. And so, you know, so that's it. And then, you know, it just becomes a conversation. So it's very sincere, because I'm completely sincere. I don't reach out to anybody that I wouldn't be sincere with. But at the same time, what's the whole reason behind them putting something out there in the universe? They don't want someone to connect with them.
Right. I notice a lot of times when people are posting about what's going on, they just they're looking for an outlet and for some help, maybe even some hope, because I mean, some people just blab everything on Facebook, and I understand that too, because that's life these days. But at the same time, a lot of people, they don't have anywhere else to reach out. So us being able to grab onto that and just being there for them and telling them that we're there for them is probably going to make the world of difference, whether they fall under our business or products or not.
You know how people will put things out there, and then a lot of comments, you'll see all those little praying hands in the comments or whatever. And again, I just like to private message people, and I'll send them a prayer, or I'll send them a little scripture. It's just a connection. I just feel like it's my responsibility. You know, God has, I don't know, but I see a need, and I just think that, you know, that's kind of, I don't know what it is, but it's my thing, you know, and so I just take the time. Can't tell you how many private messages I have out there. It doesn't mean that people responded to me, but I just take it one step further, I guess, is the best thing to do. And sometimes it'll be 6 months later, someone will finally respond to it and say, I just want to say thank you, and I wanted to let you know about this.
That's perfect, though, because that's what we're trying to do with building our relationships. Even if it takes them 6 months or never, unless you reach out to them again. I loved how she said, this is your business and your life, but don't kid yourself or your business partners that you want to build a huge business when you're not really willing to make it a top priority. So we could be running around, oh, I want to be diamond, I want to be emerald, I want a Lexus, but if we're not doing anything to get there, then why are we even blabbing about it? Part of the reasons is our whys aren't big enough. If we think our business isn't growing, even though we are doing all the work, or we feel like we're doing all of our IPA, where are we spending our time? Is it in the wrong place? Kind of like a lot of times when I get on social media, I do find myself scrolling when I could be watching a YouTube video on training myself or something like that. That's big things that we should, for ourselves, be looking into. The number one responsibility you have for your team to set a pace and duplication model that your team can follow. So like Mel and I were talking about, we're not on a team that's very strict, bam, bam, you need to recruit 20 people this month, every month. So I really like how our duplication communication is. We're all there for each other. We're all just trying to do what's best for ourselves and help each other along the way. Why don't you have enough time to reach out and talk to people? Because it's hard. It's the hard stuff that's the most important. And then I like her list of checked Facebook direct messages and sent to, checked email and responded to 3, signed her email to my guest on the week's team, and she kept going. Updated grocery list, but who gets sucked into things that we're not supposed to be doing? Like, do we need to make our grocery list 10 times, or can we just go to the grocery store with our first checklist? Let's get really clear on what you're supposed to do and grow a lucrative business. Reach out and talk to people about your business and your products and find those who are looking for what you have to offer. This is where the vast majority of your time is spent, at least 80%. Train your newbies on the basics, do 3-way calls, strategize with your runners, recognize and praise accomplishments. So I really want to encourage this get into action. I haven't done it yet, but it's been on my mind. I do want to sit down and write down what I'm wasting my time on, because there's a lot of times I'm doing nothing, I feel like, and I'm always so busy, but when it comes down to, I spend more time stressing about what I need to get done than actually doing it, and that pushes me to continue not getting it done. So this next week I am going to write down my list of what, and then start filling in my schedule of what I could be doing with that time. The next point is I'm talking to enough people. But another big old piece of BS we tell ourselves is that we are talking to enough people. So I guess my 6 messages here and there aren't enough people, especially because 3 of those are follow-ups, so they're not even new people that I'm talking to. So that really stuck out to me, because I don't think I am reaching out to enough people, or else I wouldn't be stuck on some days being like, who am I going to talk to next? The class was changed to double the amount of people that reached out into 1 week. Doria took the challenge and could not believe the flutter of activity that is generated in her business in just 7 days. So I noticed that month that I was on a roll, and I was reaching out almost 7 days a week. I didn't sign up any new ambassadors. I did get a couple new customers, but the action that was coming to me, I had so many people just wanting to talk to me and respond on my Facebook post. And the more you do it, the more you're going to get out of it. So I liked how they challenged themselves to, Monica, like your live videos. Like, if you don't do it, then nothing's going to come out of it. And the more you do, the more you get out of it.
I am not kidding you. And every time I take days off from doing it, I start just, my gut wrenches at the idea of getting on live. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. I have to make myself just keep doing it. And that is one of the things you probably heard from Ray Higdon on his Free Fridays, that just show up. Just be there. Be consistent, because we can't guarantee when people are going to be ready for what we're saying anyway, or if they're ever going to be ready for what we're saying. So if we're just there and we are loving on them, providing them some sort of value in things that we have to say or share, then they know that. And one day they might consider it. And you just don't know when. So just keep going.
So I have a question, on in this chapter and the other chapter, she talks a lot about 3-way calls. When I was first starting this business, I knew nothing about Plexus products. And so every single person I talked to was in a 3-way message or call with my sponsor. Do you guys, now that we know, because I don't do this, I do introduce people to my sponsor now once they've committed to trying the products or the business. I do that consistently. My team doesn't duplicate that well, but I wish they did. I always put it out there and say, I'd like it, so because I see the numbers, so I know when people add people. So I'll send them a message and say, I'd love for you to put me in a three-way. So that's the duplication process. I'm asking them and reminding them. But I don't do that anymore, even with prospects. And I was just thinking, she talks about it so much, and it's one of, it's like, what can you do differently to see if your business could grow more or your customer base, so that's one of the things that keeps striking me is I should just put them in a three-way and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. I've thought about that for the same reason, because she mentions it so much. And then it seems, it does seem like a good idea, because new people won't know anything, and we're telling them they don't have to know anything. And this is how they don't have to know anything, because there are people who do, and they can help with that. ATMing makes so much sense to me too. And I haven't quite figured out how, except for that slim challenge, I haven't quite figured out how to transition from a little conversation to, how about I add you to this group? It's not that hard. I hear myself. It's not that hard. Just say it. How about I add you to this group and you can learn some more about the products? It's not rocket science.
Sometimes you can first
feel to me like that I'm burdening somebody, though, because my first and second uplines are busy. And they're busy, and this is not their primary focus. And I wouldn't feel good about asking anybody further up the line, because that gives me anxiety imagining being that upline one day. And talking to hundreds of people.
So I would say two things to you. Number one, I would personalize adding them, because that's what I do. I just say, when I was learning more about gut health, one of the things that I really liked is being part of a group that actively adds information. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to add you to that group, and you can change the notifications, or you can get out of the group, but it really helps. Right. That's what I do. I just personalize it, throw them in there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The second thing I would say to you is move up the chain, because I know Ansley and Rhonda would, in a heartbeat, spend their days talking to.
Yeah.
So please don't hesitate to do that, because I know I can hear Rhonda's voice right now saying, Monica, that's what I'm here for. Seriously.
I know.
And she has a great personal story. Ansley has a great personal story, not only health, but business. Mm-hmm. So I would think of those two things. I always would, like Rhonda, her health story is amazing. And she's gentle and quiet. And that's what I would think of the person that they would connect. Ansley has an amazing business testimony. She has a good health testimony. She's energetic, excited. And she's young.
Yes.
So I would just always just think who, and they're never too busy. They would never say too busy. I know it.
And also with that, I noticed even sidelines, like if a potential, I know I don't even use three-ways because I've been shut down on them so many times. I guess I don't try, which I should get back into it and not let that put me behind. But like if someone had a pregnant potential or breastfeeding, like I'd be more than happy to do a three-way, even if that person's not even on my team, just because hearing it from somebody else is just sometimes better. So hearing that we should all be working on doing it, maybe even just grabbing our sidelines and practicing and not feeling like we're bugging people, just going on Dare to Be Diamond. Hey, I have this potential. Who would be a good three-way? Can anyone help me? And then I'm sure any of us will jump on it. So.
Right.
And then with the add tag message, when we were first learning about that, one thing that stuck out to me was even if there's like a good article that you think fits somebody, add them and then send that personal message, because when you add them, you can add that message and be like, hey, I added you because of this, and don't hesitate to get out of the group. I just know and feel that you would benefit from it, because it's just knowledge. You don't have to interact. You don't have to do anything. It's just some information for you. So
Right.
that was some good insight on that, even though that's another thing I've only used like twice, but this is all a learning process for all of us.
I really think that is that the Slim Challenge didn't go so great for one of my potentials, but she decided to sign up as a Triplex customer anyway. And I think that that's partly why, because she's been in Gut Glam and she's seen, you know, a few of the lives in there and a few of the other posts, and she's, you know, we're coming on the holidays, so she's not trying to lose weight. She just doesn't want to be craving all of the sugar and the carbs and everything. Yes, you can do this. This is great time. It's a great time. It's perfect. So I know that could really help potentials without us having to nag all of the time or have them feel like we're only messaging about the business or about the products, or, you know, and not anything else. For friends, I find that this is the sticky part, because if I focus too much on plexus, or I say plexus in every other even message, that it feels like I don't care and that I'm just there about plexus. And that could just be me. They may not be thinking this at all. There's that too. So it's our heads.
It definitely is. It's all about mindset.
It is all of these things that it just keeps circling back around to. Get out of your head. If you're selling coffee, you sell coffee and you don't give it a second thought.
Right.
Selling supplements, this is going to make somebody well. This isn't just, hey, a jolt and you're on your way. Why overthink it?
Boost every day, because you're going to feel better instead of a huge boost and then a huge crash.
Exactly. It's crazy.
I like that she brought up the 5-3-2 method. I know that on our IPA sheets it's 3 new, 3 follow up, and add 3 people. So as long as you're just reaching out, she said reach out to 5 new, follow up with 3, and check in with 2 of your business partners. For me, I just pick a day of the week and I message all of my business partners, because I don't have that huge of a team yet. But with that, those extra days that I'm not reaching out to business partners, I can add in a couple more follow-ups or a couple new people. I've recruited enough people. I'm not where I should be. She challenges you to commit to bring on 25 people in the next 6 months, and then 25 people in the next 6 months. That would be 50 people in a year. So what if you fall short? You'll shoot for the moon by landing among the stars. You'll still be much closer to your goal than you are now. And I love that, because we beat ourselves up so much on even the little goals, the big goals. But if we set that and keep pushing instead of beating ourselves up, then we'll keep going. If we only did 20 people in the next 6 months instead of 25, then we're still going to keep the 25 for the next 6 months, but then keep doing it instead of, oh, I'm never going to hit the next 25 because I didn't last time. Like, you have to keep moving forward. I'm being coachable, but nothing is happening. Are you really talking to enough people, leading with the business and defaulting to the product? Are you hiding behind email and texting to talk to your network, or are you picking up the phone like your coach to do? Are you being consistent, touching your business every day? Are you having faith in 3-way calls? Are you working on what's between your ears every day? So it's the same thing that we just keep talking about. We need to just have faith in what we're doing and not be scared about it, because obviously we love what we're doing and we're not going anywhere, or else we wouldn't be doing this.
Are y'all using a planner like an IPA planner or anything? You just using like a notebook, or Monica, what are you doing?
I'm on Teamsy. I had shown everybody a screenshot. I love that, except, and could be something I just don't know. It's in alphabetical order of all of the people that I uploaded, and that isn't how I normally work. I haven't grabbed that one and gone running with it, but I like that I can schedule my follow-ups because I will forget. I just will. There's no getting around that for me. And if I wrote it down, unless I wrote it down in a paper planner, I would forget. So, because I'm shocked sometimes how much time has passed since I've talked to someone, whether they're a customer, or an ambassador. And I feel like I talk to people all the time. As an introvert, it's exhausting and draining, and I get peopled out. So if I don't write it down, it could be a month, or, and somebody's having to reach out to me, a customer reaching out to me to say, oh, I need something added to my order or whatever. So I have liked Teamsy, and I have to keep it open in a tab also, or I will forget. It is a sad state of affairs.
Are you able to use that from your phone?
We checked it, and it is very mobile friendly in the browser. They don't have an app, but the Safari, it's very, very mobile friendly. They've got it really clean. So I'm happy about that. I don't know if anybody has checked it out. And I know Rhonda had agreed with me when I said I had tried Lexi by Plexus, but apparently they've done a complete revamp, and I have not looked at it, but their emails insist that it's nothing like it was before. So I am a little bit curious about that. But it felt like just an overload of information for my customers and ambassadors before. So that went right out the window. And Teamsy fit the bill because it is more of on your screen IPA. It literally is almost exactly that same IPA sheet. There are little check boxes for you taking your own supplements, for you exercising, for you doing your Facebook or social media posts, for adding people, for anything. It's that piece of paper on the screen, and that worked for me. And I love paper planners, but for this, I just kept seeing in my head, this is going to get out of control, and I won't be able to handle all that.
I'm going to take a look at it because I know
it's a 30-day free trial, so
yeah, I'm going to take a look at it.
Good opportunity.
I ordered a planner from Abby Kappa. She's the youngest Plexus diamond, and so she developed one that was for Plexus. She had a lot of trouble with the orders getting on time, so we still don't have it yet. But I did. She had an introductory offer with free shipping for the first certain amount of people, and so I PayPal'd her in August. I don't have it yet, but I do like. I'm going to check it out. I do like planners. I had gone, and this is an Erin Condren.
Yep, I got one of those.
Okay. But the thing about it is, I'm just honest, if you don't write it down, then it's going to be blank just like that. So that's the thing. And I think those of us that are, whether it's Teamsy or a paper planner, I think we can all do some self-inventory here and just say,
absolutely.
Do we have our planner or our Teamsy open? I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you have little kids, homeschool, or if you're totally like me, no excuse. You do not commit to time. Yep. It's like Monday night. We do a 1 hour power hour. I'm so committed to that. And, and so if we don't commit to it and time block it and tell everybody else in the world, these are my office hours, it's not that we can't do this business, but just imagine, if we committed November 15th to December 15th right now, there's 4 of us right now on this call, Val, Melissa, Monica, and, and Alexis, if we just said for 30 days, we are going to commit to blocking out 2 hours a day office time.
Yep.
Not scrolling, but total IPA. I'll bet December 15th, you can come back and say, holy moly.
Yep. Absolutely. It is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. And that is the catch up.
I did highlight a lot of more stuff, but I'm just gonna skim through quickly since we're running short on time because this went way better than I expected, so I'm excited about that. But when we get stuck on people that we think are runners, when actually they're not really bringing in much to our business, which that's just us getting stuck in management mode, which is totally understandable. We're slowing ourselves down, and this will keep us from finding the people that are really going to be running with us. It's easier to justify spending your time coaching them instead of doing the hard stuff. Stop doing all the coaching. Leading, dragging, carrying, whole bunch of time back on your plate to reach out and talk to people with skin and find the right folks. Do the hard stuff and grow your wealth. So if we're not doing the work, we're not getting anywhere. We can't drag everyone to do this job for us. I can only sell products. Leading with the products and not talking enough about the business. Lead with the business and default to the products. Either you feel insecure or you're simply not coachable, and that's why you're not leading with the business.
I never do that. I mean, I lead with a business with someone that has mentioned that to me. I lead with the products, and here's the deal. We don't always have to agree with everything we read. Right. And I'm not saying that she's wrong, but what I'm saying is you can only do what works for you personally. And for me personally, I needed to feel better with these products, to be passionate about it, because it was an accidental business. But I know people that, like I have one of my top business builders, she needed this business. She was working a second job after her full-time job and leaving, her boys at home in the evening. And so she needed this. Now, she took the products for 2 months, but she needed the business. And so, so I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just, I don't do it. And when she says it's because, you're not comfortable or whatever, she's probably right. And I am coachable on that. It's just, I do have a little bit of it's not a brick wall, but a little bit of a veil that says I really need more and more coaching to bust through that. And what that is for me is trial and error. So I'll have to try it and lead with the business more to find out if that could be my truth.
Yeah, I think for me, it weaves in with that don't prejudge suggestion, because I imagine that no one really, and that's not true, but you do tend to prejudge. I love the products, and I wouldn't be doing network marketing if it weren't for the products. So that's part of a me problem. For other people, this could be just the thing they were looking for in the products and the business. And it goes all the way back, though, for that to the beginning of the book when she said, if you lead with the products, then they're never going to go with the business. If they don't even like the products, they're not going to sell them. So I understand that order of things, but I keep feeling like the part that makes me super passionate is how much my health has improved, how much my mental health has improved, how much better I feel. And it doesn't have to do with the business side of it so much as the actual products. That's a hard one. That is hard.
I definitely agree with that, because I don't think I really ever lead with the business. But then it falls into place because I don't have enough money to be more healthy comes into place. And then that's when we can put in the business
That's
part,
right.
because you can be healthy and make money off your own products, which is giving you an even deeper discount. And then I know that you know people that are not doing well in X, Y, and Z. You can make money off of that and help them.
Right.
So
It's a start.
It's just kind of, like you said, not judging,
Hmm.
prejudging, because we don't know. But if we can find what they really need, then it will fall into place. We already kind of covered this one. I don't need three ways. If you don't believe me, go back and read chapter 6. So we'll just leave it on that because we already covered that.
And if you go back to, I just went back to 6 when, on that, and I've highlighted almost that whole chapter. Which means that really speaks to me. So,
So after today, we're all going back to chapter 6 because none of us are doing three-way. I don't have the right network. Prejudging, you have no idea who will actually grow this thing. It could be somebody that just needed to get healthier, and by your duplication and them seeing where you're at, they might be your runner without you even. I'm too chicken to reach out to the people who could really run with this and make themselves and me fortune. So me and a lot of us, we're not looking in it to grow $1 million off of people. That's not what we're doing. But at the same time, I do find myself too chicken to reach out to the people that I think would be great at it. I have a friend that's a huge business builder. She owns a couple of her own businesses, and they see a holistic doctor in another town. And I reached out to her, and it was a no because she is doing what she's doing. But at the same time, I would never have known that if I was too scared. So she was easier to talk to because I'm closer to her, but those people that I'm really chicken to, we need to just reach out to our chicken lists. I don't think I'm worthy of great success. That's a hard one, and yes, you kind of feel like you're not good enough to do this, but that's all mindset, and you just need to get it out of your head because everyone's worthy of what they want to be worthy of. I don't want to be that person who people want to run from. You're not bothering them. Desperately needs to earn more money, and she can get out of broken marriage. That was an example of someone that you could be reaching out to and not bothering, even though you feel like you're bothering. You could be reaching out to someone that desperately needs it. For the right people, you have a gift. Don't decide from someone else whether they need that gift. So you can't tell them, you need this, you're crazy if you don't do it, and just be pushy, because that's when we are bothering. We need to meet them on their level, like she keeps talking about. Humans are programmed to say no. Reach out and follow up with those no's, because I know I said no at first. I was pregnant. I was miserable working 7 days a week. That was life, and I didn't want anyone to try, and I didn't think anything was going to work. I didn't think anything was going to change it. But Sabrina wasn't pushy to me at all. She was just there. She got to know me better before anything, and then I felt comfortable with actually wanting to hear what she even had to sell or offer. Because at first I was like, no, I don't want what you're selling. No. But then she met me on my level. Appointment to appointment is not pushy. P word is for professional, not pushy. Don't set appointments. If you don't set appointments, you'll be chasing people. So save yourself some grief. Treat others like you'd want to be treated, and be professional. So if you set up with them, then you set an appointment with them, you know that they know that you're going to be talking to them, and you're not going to be chasing them every day. Hey, you ready to talk to me? Hey, you ready to talk to me? Hey, you ready to talk to me? You're going to just be setting up that meeting, even if it's just over coffee, and then it comes up to be talking about the business or product. This should be easier. Why? I think you're confusing simple with easy. Yes, our business is incredibly simplistic, but that doesn't mean easy. Examples: marriage, parenthood, earning an advanced degree, running a marathon, getting and staying in good shape. Any of these easy? No. They're hard work and also incredibly rewarding. So stop bitching. It's not easier, and just work harder and smarter. I liked that because even me, everybody complains, oh, why can't this be easier? Blah, 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 blah. Well, easy doesn't get you anywhere. I'm sorry. Besides, I don't want anything handed to me in the first place, because that's not rewarding. Mark Cuban said, work like there is someone working 24 hours a day to take it away from you. It's not complicated. So if someone's trying to, for example, take your babies away from you, you're going to bust your butt to do anything you can to keep your babies in your house. I'm not saying that's my situation or anything, but that's just something that popped in my head. Like, if my kids don't have food to eat, I'm going to do everything in my power to go get that money, whether it's 20 bucks, $5, to go feed them for that day. Whatever it is you need to work like someone's taking it from you, just because that motivates you. I feel like that pushes you. Next, I don't have what it takes to be a leader. I never thought I would ever be a leader, really, in anything. It's something I've always wanted to help people do this and that, but I've never thought I would be leading anything. Our business has every kind of background, from me, shy and not wanting to talk to people that are so outgoing and just, that's what they do. They just go and talk to people. Like Julian, he's so outgoing and he is constantly talking to people. I'm like, why are you talking to that person? You don't even know them. But now I'm understanding, like, it feels better. Like, I feel good when I go and meet someone and say hi. Or there's a girl at one of the stores in my town, and she seemed really shy, and you can just tell she was really shut down and didn't want anything. So I just opened a conversation to her and said hi, introduced myself, told her about my kids, and next thing I know, she was inviting me to her son's birthday party and opening up to me, and I just love it. You never know. You can open that up in people just by being there for them and supporting them. Jason McEndu, I like this. Leadership is about influence, nothing more, nothing less. So same with duplication. We're doing it. They're going to see that it's simple, that it's not. The people that know me before know that I wasn't an outgoing person. I didn't like to talk to people. I was kind of rude and stuck up, in all honesty. But then they see me now and they're like, whoa, like, how are you doing this? I want to be like that. And that's the leadership, like, part on it. If you're willing to do everything it takes to duplicate in this business, then you will inspire. Then without even trying to lead, that's exactly what you'll be doing. Simply having confidence in ourselves, believing we're worthy, and taking action to reach our goals. That's what inspires others. Me posting on our team page when I do my IPA, or when an exciting message, I've gotten so much response of, you inspire me, and just my journey from beginning to now. I'm inspiring so many people, and I didn't even know I was. Like, so that's just, when you're confident and you're just pushing for your goals, then that's when you're going to be leading, duplicating, and inspiring. I will make mistakes. This is not BS, because you will make mistakes. You will fail. You're not supposed to make mistakes to be successful, is the part that's BS. You're not just going to be able to rock this whole business like it's nothing. Just, there is bumps in the road. Like, there's things that we don't know that we need to learn, or that we can't learn. I'm sorry, but it's hard for me to learn the ingredients. But that's like what you said, Monica. We have our team behind us, and we'll make our mistakes by, I think our biggest mistake would be pretending that we do know everything, because that's not real. Another quote in here, failure is simply indispensable to the entrepreneurial experience, and nobody gets everything right every time, and it's how we learn from our mistakes that defines us. Stop and think about what happened. why it happened and what you can learn from it, then let it go. Be kind to yourself. So like we've been talking, the more we beat ourselves up, the more backwards we're going to go. The more positive we are and just learn from what we're doing, our mistakes that we've made, our self-negativity, like we just need to learn from it and be like, well, me beating myself up, did that really get me anywhere, or did that make my day worse? If I stopped and just accepted the situation and decided to move on from it, then that's probably going to be the best result overall. It's saturated where I live. This biz just doesn't work in our town. I don't know. I don't have anyone near me to help me. She said, I had no local support, but I started talking to people. In this town that I live in, it's a super small town, and I have my mom here, I have my sister-in-law, and I knew a couple people, and I've been here since 2012. But when I started talking to people, I have a way bigger network, and I see people in Safeway, and they're like, oh, hey, Alexis. I'm like, have to think about it. I'm like, oh, I met you on Facebook. But that's because I started talking to people. And at the park, instead of being like, oh, you guys, we need to hurry up and play because there's a bunch of people here and I don't want to talk to anyone, let the kids play and talk to that other mama that's sitting there because she's probably thinking the same thing. And once you break that, there's your network, and you do have people to talk about. She said one of her team's top leaders, her population was 747. Try telling her that size matters. There's plenty of room to grow since everyone has different networks and different spheres of influence. Everyone takes, like, if someone that didn't inspire me or I can't think of a good example of who it would be, but if it wasn't Sabrina that reached out to me about Plexus and it was someone that I didn't connect with. She is also a mama of a young child. Like, we just connected, and I feel like if we didn't connect on that level, and it was someone that didn't have kids or didn't work 7 days a week just struggling, then I don't think I would have really fell under them. So it's kind of connecting with them, showing that them that you understand what they are going through. I know we're running out of time, so every time you put out an excuse, you place another cement block in your walls you're building around yourself. So let's just stop these excuses, get on these three-way calls, and just do it. Stop being scared because we love it, and this is what we're doing.